It was 2:37 a.m. when the world stopped breathing. My 5-year-old daughter, Emma, lay curled in her bed like a wilted flower, drenched in sweat, trembling, her tiny fingers clutching my arm as if I were the last anchor in a storm. Her breaths came in shallow gasps. No doctor needed to tell me. This wasn't a fever. This was fear wearing a child's skin. I raced her to the ER, heart hammering against my ribs, hands shaking so badly I could barely buckle her seatbelt. In that sterile, humming hospital room, under the cold white lights, I stared at her pale face, the only person who had ever truly mattered, and knew the road ahead would break me, or remake me. By 8 a.m., the diagnosis hit like a sledgehammer. Severe aggressive pneumonia. She needed round-the-clock care. I hadn't slept in 36 hours. Hadn't eaten in 20. My phone blinked red. 3% battery left. And still, I made the call I swore I'd never make again. "Hi, Mom," I whispered, voice raw with exhaustion. "Emma's in the hospital. It's serious. I need help." Her laugh cut through the line like glass. "Still begging, huh? Maybe if you'd chosen a better man, you wouldn't be raising that kid alone." Before I could respond, my father snatched the phone. "You've always been the needy one. Your sister. She doesn't go looking for handouts." I hung up. Silent tears fell onto Emma's blanket as I stroked her hair. "I'll figure this out, baby," I whispered. "Even if it kills me, my last hope was my sister." Belle, now a social media wellness guru with a downtown condo, designer clothes, and a life filtered to perfection. When I called, she sighed like I'd interrupted her meditation. "Seriously, liar, still playing the single mom sympathy card." "It's not a card. She's sick." "Right," she drawled. "You know what's sick? Still not handling your own life at 30. You've always been a loser." "Loser?" The word landed like a stone in my chest. The same girl I'd stayed up with during her first heartbreak. The one I'd babysat her dog for while she vacationed in Bali. Now called me a loser while my child fought for air. I sat in that hospital chair, phone dead, bank account overdrawn. Reflection in the window, hollow and ghost-like. No one was coming. No one ever had. And that's when something inside me shifted. I didn't cry. I didn't beg. I opened a notebook, not to list what I needed, but to record what they'd done. Every cruel word, every slammed door, every time they chose comfort over compassion. Not as a victim, as evidence. Because they didn't know the truth. The most dangerous woman in the world is a mother who's done being silent. The weeks that followed were brutal. Emma endured aggressive antibiotics. Bills piled up like tombstones. I worked freelance gigs from her hospital bed. Typing through the night, surviving on 2 hours of sleep. Reading her stories between IV changes. Nurses noticed. "You never leave," one said gently. Home, my apartment was empty, cold, echoing with the silence of a family that never showed up. Then came the final betrayal. A friend's Instagram post revealed my parents on a luxury European cruise. My mother sipping champagne on a yacht. Caption: "Celebrating peace and quiet." Peace and quiet. That's what they called abandoning us. Meanwhile, Belle posted a viral video. Cutting off toxic family, even if it's your own sister. She called me a drain, a woman who made all the wrong choices and expects rescue. Comments flooded in. "So brave. Such strong boundaries." She was monetizing my pain. That night, I didn't rage. I planned. What they didn't know. My freelance work had led me to a PR agency. Quietly, I'd earned trust. I pitched a campaign. Faces of invisible mothers. Real stories of single moms abandoned by family. Fighting poverty, shame, and silence to give their kids a chance. I submitted my own story as the pilot. The CEO called within the hour. "This is raw, human. It's not marketing. It's a movement." National media picked it up. Op-eds, morning shows. I never named names, but every word echoed in the hearts of thousands of women who'd been told they weren't enough. Then came the twist of fate. The same brand that sponsored Belle's fitness channel reached out for a Mother's Day campaign. They wanted me. I agreed, on one condition. We'd film it live in my hometown. Emma, now recovered, stood beside me on stage at the community center. Cameras rolled, reporters gathered, and, just as I knew they would, my parents and Belle showed up. Late, confused, standing in the back. I stepped to the mic. My daughter once asked me, "Why don't Grandma and Grandpa ever visit?" I said, voice steady. I told her, "Some people only love you when it's convenient. But today, we love out loud, even when no one claps." Silence. Then thunderous applause. Afterward, Belle approached, trembling. "That post, I didn't mean it like that." I looked her in the eye. "Don't worry, you're just being dramatic, right? That's what you always said about me." My mother reached for a hug. I stepped back. I'm not angry anymore. I'm just unavailable. 3 months later, the ripple effect was undeniable. Belle's sponsorships vanished. Brands didn't want a family values influencer who mocked her sick niece. My parents, once social elites, now quietly excluded from every circle. People remembered the birthdays skipped, the holidays spent doting on Belle, while I sat alone with a feverish child. But I didn't gloat. I didn't post. I simply lived better. I launched Emma's Room, a community fund offering emergency childcare, medical aid, and shelter to struggling single mothers. Our first guest? A woman sleeping on a bus stop bench with her toddler. We gave her safety, dignity, hope. News crews came. Not for my pain, but for the light I'd built. Emma painted a mural in the center, a bright yellow sun, 2 stick figures, mom and child, surrounded by hearts. Below it, in wobbly letters, "Love speaks loudest when no one else will." One morning, my father appeared at the door, smaller, older, humbled. He placed a photo on the table, me as a child, holding a teddy bear. On the back, "To my brave girl, you always saw more than we did." Then, a check, $25,000. "It's all we could move quickly," he said. "We want to help. We know we failed." I slid it back. Help someone else. Help a mother who doesn't have what I have. "And what do you have?" he asked. Eyes wet, I smiled. Peace. Later, Belle waited outside. No makeup, no filters. Just a scared girl in jeans. "Do you hate me?" "No," I said. "But I'm done trying to earn a love that was always conditional." She whispered, "You were never the loser." "I know," I replied. As I walked back inside, Emma ran to me. "Mom, the new family is here." A young mother stood in the doorway, exhausted, clutching a baby, eyes wide with cautious hope, the same look I once wore. I took her hand. "You're safe here," I said. "We see you. We'll help." And that's the secret no one tells you about pain. When you survive it, you get to rewrite its ending, not with revenge, but with purpose. I didn't just make them regret abandoning me. I built a world where no mother like me would ever be abandoned again.